I love shows.
What's the feeling about the shows that make you like them?
It's something that's just electric about the room.
Mark Anthony is an entrepreneur and artist striving to inspire people through his unique approach to music.
What kind of music you say you do?
I do psychedelic cloud rap.
Psychedelic cloud
I take
rap.
bedroom pop and alternative hip hop, and I put them together, and I've crafted this lane. As an artist, I feel like that's part of the job. Like, you creating the soundtrack to people's life. Thing with the other shit, like, you gonna fizzle out quick. You trying to go up high fast, you gonna fizzle out. You gotta climb.
Facts.
And that shit's a challenge. You gotta climb. You gotta continue to push yourself, specifically as an artist, to keep developing and try to tap into the depths of what you could really do.
You know, the first thing that makes me want to ask is, how'd you get that name?
My boy Colin, who passed away a few years ago, we used to do music together. And he started calling me Ma Zing. I was like, yo, that shit's so fire. And then when he passed away, I was like, yo, I gotta do this music shit, because he's one of the guys that believed in me from the beginning.
Ma Zing, welcome to the Attractive Mindset Podcast, man.
Thank you, Rich. Appreciate you, man.
Absolutely.
It's a pleasure to be here.
So for the people that don't know who you are, introduce yourself real quick.
Yeah, that's right. I'm in that discovery stage for a lot of, the audience and the fans. So my name is Ma Zing. I hail from Boston. I live in Dallas now, and I do that shit.
Okay. And so Ma Zing, the first thing that makes me want to ask is, how'd you get that name?
I'm not gonna lie, that name I took out of the word amazing, because my name Mark Anthony. So that the two first letters M-A.
Okay.
I took out of that. But then my boy Colin, who passed away a few years ago, we used to do music together. And he started calling me Ma Zing. And I was like, yo, that shit's so fire. And then when he passed away, I was like, yo, I gotta do this music shit, because he's one of the guys that believed in me from the beginning.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So what kind of music you say you do?
I do psychedelic cloud rap.
Psychedelic cloud rap.
I take bedroom pop and alternative hip hop, and I put them together, and I've crafted this lane.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now that sounds fire. I've never heard of that. Psychedelic
cloud rap.
Okay. And so how do you want people to feel when they hear your music?
My music is all about being uplifted. Like, I like to do a lot of colorful things in the music. I like to dance. I like it just to be like a happy vibe. You know what I mean? Really, you could play it anywhere. You in the car, you going to the gym, you working out, you hanging out at the crib. Really, it's meant to be like lifestyle. You know? As an artist, I feel like that's part of the job. Like, you creating the soundtrack to people's life. So you got to make that music that they can really play in almost any environment.
Got you. And so, for a lot of artists, I've had a conversation with a few artists. Do you feel like growing up in Boston is what crafted your style, or you would be your style of an artist anywhere you grew up?
That's a really good question. I think I would probably be this way regardless of where I grew up, because of my family background, having Caribbean lineage, and then just my childhood traveling a lot, and then getting into my young adulthood and just continuing to travel.
Got you.
And just being influenced by people and music and just my experiences as I travel the world,
Got you. And your family does music too?
Not really. I'm the only one in my family that really do music.
So how'd you get put on to, like, I want to be an artist?
My first intro to music was African dance class with my mother.
Okay.
So I was like 5 years old, and I'd be playing the djembe with a line of drummers at African dance class. We do our thing. Ladies mostly would come in waves. They do the dances, and that's how I learned rhythm. That's how, I was introduced to music in terms of me playing music and creating music. And then I took it from there. I was in choir. I played some piano. I played some violin in orchestra. And then in my teenage years, I started recording. And I've been going at it for the last 10 years.
Got you. So you've always been musically inclined.
Yeah, we're musically influenced in the culture.
Got it.
Even though we don't necessarily make the music.
Got you.
You know what I mean?
Okay. And so how do you feel, it's going to be a left side question, but how do you feel about like ghostwriting?
I don't really feel a way about it. I mean, when I'm working in sessions, I've never taken a song that someone else wrote A to Z and then gave to me to then make the record.
Okay.
But I have had an experience where I'm in the room with other creatives or producers, artists, and they might drop me an idea.
Okay.
And then I might take the idea, or they drop the melody, and then I'll craft the lyrics to it. I think you can do a lot by yourself, but I think that cooperative, collaborative part of the creation is really important.
Got you. And how important is it, or do you feel like it at all influences you being able to play instruments and everything into the, enhancement of your craft?
It definitely did in terms of learning pitch, because that's one thing I'm really good at is, finding the pitch and just, leaning in and going out and then going here and then, touching that area. But right now I don't really play a lot of instruments or play, period. I got a new vocal coach a couple months ago. So we just been working on a lot of different techniques and stuff. And my hope is that we're going to continue to work, and I'm going to learn to play some of my records on piano and a little bit of guitar so that I can introduce that into some of my live performances.
I was just about to ask that. So, from a live performance standpoint, do you prefer being in the studio or do you prefer doing shows?
I love shows.
What's the feeling about the shows that make you like them?
It's something that's just electric about the room. When you grab the mic, like before all my shows, people ask me, you get nervous? You feel this way, that way, that way? I'm like, yeah, I get a little nervous. Like I'm anxious, but I channel that energy and that adrenaline that I feel right before I'm about to perform into, hyper focus. And then as soon as I get the mic, I feel like I'm at peace. So once I start communicating with the audience and then performing the music, singing, it's like a reciprocal thing,
Okay. And so as far as, people in music right now, who was an influence to you when you first started getting into the music game?
People in music right now?
Yeah. Or even back then.
I really like J. Cole.
Okay.
J. Cole's fire. I think and Chris Brown. Chris Brown and J. Cole, probably some of my main music influences.
Okay.
I love Bob Marley. I love Fleetwood Mac.
Okay.
That's
a name you don't normally hear.
Yeah. Yeah. I do a lot of shit like Fleetwood Mac.
Okay.
I like Nirvana.
Okay. That's a good mix.
I like Bruno Mars.
And so who would you want, if you could do 3 people, who would you want to do a track with?
Oh shit. I would do a track with Burna Boy.
Okay.
Chris Brown and Prince.
Burna Boy, Chris Brown, and Prince. Nah, that's a solid mix right there. And so, after you do the shows, what kind of call to action do you set for your audience, or what do you want them to take up after? Do you want them to listen to like an EP, album, follow you? How do you translate the show into after the show?
I definitely direct people to go follow me and to check out my music because I got a pretty solid catalog. I got a couple EPs that's out. I got about 20 records that's out right now. And I'm continuously, dropping throughout this year specifically. I just dropped a song in April. I'm dropping a song on Friday, Break Sweat. So that's what I get people to do. I tell them, tune into this, follow me here.
And this is all independent?
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you feel about that route of being an independent artist versus, going towards a label?
I think it's definitely challenging with regard to trying to finance everything yourself. If you don't have someone helping you with money, you don't have someone helping you book travel. You know what I'm saying? Like everything I'm doing almost is by myself.
Yeah.
The people that are on my team are my engineer. I keep a couple producers close. I got a, photographer, video guy. And then I got my, my coach. But I don't have someone on the marketing side right now. Gotcha. I don't have someone booking me gigs or a booking agent or manager right now. But I know when the time is right, I'll align with you know, the right person that sees the vision the way that I do. And then, you know, we'll be able to go from there. But it's definitely challenging, you know, versus having the help of a label or having the help of some other financial backing to get you
100%.
moving.
Nah, I mean, I get it. It's just the industry is definitely different, because I was the manager for Bob Marley's grandson, Skipper Mac.
Yeah.
And you know, he's a great artist, but you know, I know you're gonna watch this. This nigga don't listen. You know what I'm saying? Artists don't listen.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I'm on the marketing advertising side of the house, and you know, we in the studio, and he's got hits. We got hard drives. He's not dropping anything. And so what's the stipulation between songs that you drop, songs that you don't drop? Like how hard is that process for you?
That's a really good question. I think it's two things. You feel a way about the record, or you might not feel a way about the record, but you also tune into how people respond to it. So if you're kind of getting a feeler for how people respond to it and they really love it, but you're unsure, or if they love it and you love it, it's a no-brainer. You know what I mean? But I mean, for me, it's just kind of following in terms of timing and sequence.
Okay.
You know, I'm trying right now not to space anything too far out, and just to stay consistent with the content, and with the music. Because I'm traveling all the time to perform and, you know, shit like that. So I know that it's just a matter of time.
Got you. And so what's like the kind of schedule pace from you conceptual, you know, idea to going in the studio to dropping the actual song and doing promo for it? Like, what's the in-between times? How long does it take you to do all that?
That's a good question. You're asking a lot of good questions. I'm trying to think. I'm thinking of the songs like that I'm dropping right now, and then the timeline of that. I'm trying to get a feel for that based on what you asked me. Like Break Sweat, that record I did right before I went to Boston last July.
Okay.
So a lot of the songs are probably like 6 to 9 months at the very least.
Okay.
Before they see the light of day.
Got you.
You know what I mean? Because I'm going through a process of creation. And a lot of times, like, especially nowadays, I don't sit on a record before I go to the studio. Like, I'm not sitting, plotting on it, writing about it, thinking about it, coming up with the melodies as much. I like to just go there because I know I got it. So when I get there, I feel it out and then go with what, like, God is telling me, like, what the feeling is in the room.
Gotcha.
And based on that, you know, create something.
You're not a writer necessarily. You go in there and you perform what comes to you.
I like to find the melodies at least first.
Okay.
And if I come up with some lyrics while I'm doing that, that's cool. A lot of times I'll find the melodies, or I might do a ref track or a riff track, and then I'll go and I'll write. I'm like, oh, I like this idea. I don't like that. Let me go here with it. You know what I mean? Got
you. And then the notorious question, you know, something that it wasn't really an issue for us, but it's a difference in, you know, I'm on the marketing advertising side of the house. He's on the artistry side of the house. What do your splits look like?
You mean with the DSPs?
Well, yeah, with like the producers and all of that stuff.
For the most part, when I'm getting a record from a producer, I just pay him up front.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So I'll pay him up front. I'll squash that shit straight away.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then from there, unless they want to do something else.
Okay.
You know? And then I'll go, and when I'm uploading the record, then I'll give my credits to whoever collaborated on the record. Mainly it's just me doing the shit. Because I pay the engineer. So I own everything.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying?
Keep that ownership.
Yeah.
100%. No, that's dope. Okay. And so, you know, I want to backtrack a little bit again, you know, so going into that high school phase, you know, did you go to college?
I went to college for a year.
Okay. And so at what point in your life did you say, music is it, I'm going to pursue it full time?
This isn't that far in the past.
Okay.
Because I kind of been like on the fence.
Okay.
You know, growing up in college, I played tennis. So I was trying to dibble dabble between doing tennis, being a tennis coach, and doing my tennis thing, and then doing music. And as you know, like if you're trying to do something or you're trying to be great at it, it really requires all of your freaking attention, like
100%.
all of it. And you have to live it. You know what I'm saying? You can't be like, you can do this and then do that. But like Will Smith say, the plan B distract from the plan A.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So I would say within the past couple of years, I've really just been focused on music solely and trying to take it off.
You was nice at tennis?
Yeah. Yeah, I was nice at tennis.
Okay.
Now he's putting in that work. We Boston legends. We really do this shit.
No, that's dope. I mean, I play a little bit of tennis here and there. You know, you might have to see on that one day.
That's a bet.
You know what I'm saying?
Say less, bro. Name the time and the
like,
place. I'm gonna pull up.
Something like, you know, I got a couple custom rackets. You know
Okay.
So like, you seen the new tennis movie with Zendaya?
Fuck no, I'm not watching that shit.
Really? Why not?
Shit looks trash, bro.
But it was a good movie though.
I heard it was ass.
It was a good movie though. It was a good
You
movie.
watched it.
I did watch it.
All right. Tell me your feedback.
My
Tell me
feedback
your
on it?
honest opinion.
My honest opinion on it was it gives you perspective. You know what I'm saying? Because you're seeing three different perspectives in one. You got three main characters. You know, a movie normally only got one main character. And so now you got three main characters and you're seeing every single one of their side of the story. And, you know, naturally as human beings, we want to pick a side. And so it's hard to pick a side when everybody's side is valid. And, you know, and they're combining all three of these scenarios in one movie.
Right.
And so even up until the end, like you want to be mad at Shorty for she's fucking with two dudes. You know, you want to be mad at her for doing that, but you understand the dynamic of them, and then they still, you know, maintain their friendship, and then it all ties back into the love for tennis. And it becomes a bigger thing. And so I feel like it's a really good staple movie for tennis, only because it highlights like different feelings. You got people that don't take it as serious that are really good at it. You got people that are really good at it but can't take it serious anymore because it's a lot on your body. You got people that take it serious, that got injured, that can't take it serious, and now they got to take a backseat. They got to do coaching, they got to do this and that. And so you get to see so many different lanes and avenues. And, you know, I never really knew about tennis.
Yeah, you never thought about all those different things that go into the sport.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I think it was a vibe. I also do like movies though.
Okay.
So yeah, but that's dope. And so, you know, outside of music, you know, how versed are you within the investing world? Because just like you said, being an independent artist, you have to fund a lot of your own things. You have to do a lot of this and that, you know. So a lot of business people that are in music, you know, like a 50 Cent or whatever, you see them venture off to, he's starting a TV show, he's doing this, he's doing that. Do you have ties to expanding business outside of just your artistry?
Yeah, I'm on the real estate grind.
Okay.
So I got a couple properties. I started investing in real estate end of 2019, right before the pandemic.
Got you.
And it so happened that during that time I got kind of lucky. So throughout the past couple of years, I've just been making moves with regards to real estate and using that to
That makes sense.
Do what I want to do.
That makes sense.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah.
And so when you do your sessions and you have them, what's like a content rollout for you? Do you have a content rollout?
Usually I'll do remixes to other artists' beats. I'll do a few different, like say I'll drop a verse or something on them, like maybe 3 or 4 of them. Like I was really consistent with that throughout the beginning of the year. I was dropping one every week.
Gotcha.
Then I dropped a single. I dropped visual with it. I'm coming with another single, following with visuals with it. So I'm just trying to stay consistent with regard to the things that I think make me unique. You know what I mean? Capturing some of the travel stuff, capturing some of the show stuff, capturing some of the behind the scenes like this podcast stuff, you know what I mean? Just keeping the audience engaged with regard to what I got going on, you know?
Nah, that's definitely dope, you know? So I'm about to hit you with 2 haymaker questions, right?
Bow, bow.
And so
I'm
the
ready.
first one,
Philly show.
the first one is how do I want to phrase this?
How do you want to phrase this?
How do I want to phrase this? Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask that one after. How do you feel about Drake and Kendrick?
I'm so glad he asked me this question. You want to know my honest answer? I don't give a fuck. I'm one of those people, like, I get it. It's competitive. It's rap. We sparring. But me personally, like, I don't give a shit. Like, I got so much going on in my own life where it's like, I really try not to feed into a lot of the shit that's going on media wise, period. Like the Diddy shit. Like, you know, it might sound bad, but even what's going on with regard to, you know, Israel and Palestine. You know, I was talking to my homegirl this morning. We were having lunch and, you know, she's upset because it's genocide that's happening, which I understand, but also I'm uninformed to the history of everything. And then the details to who's funding what, who came from where, and all of that stuff. And part of it is intentional. Like, I don't go do all the research and watch all the videos because it's really upsetting.
It is.
You know, like around the time of, you know, Trayvon Martin, I was like 18. So it was like, damn, like that could be me or one of my friends from my neighborhood type of vibe. And then it's just like things like this just continuously are happening. So I try to just remove myself from drama and just things that are happening like that. I feel like it just helps me protect my peace. You know what I'm saying? And my state of mind.
No, that's a great answer. And that ties into the second one, which is it the media's job to tell the truth?
Is it the media's job to tell the truth? I think that the media should tell the truth.
Okay.
I don't think you should ever be dishonest with the intent of malice or just running a narrative. If you know something is untrue and you just are saying it because you want to get a reaction or you want to get views, that's fucked up.
It is.
That's actually disgusting to me, especially if you're saying something that is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes I like to watch First Take.
Okay.
And sometimes Stephen A, he pissed me off. Like I love to watch the show, but he pisses me off.
He got that personality.
He'll just say something and I'll be like, what? That doesn't even make no sense. Like sometimes when he talks about Kawhi Leonard, it kind of pisses me off. When he talks about like him being injured and just like how he talks about him pissed me off. The way he used to talk about Kyrie Irving would get on my nerves. And then sometimes when I love to watch It Is What It Is. Cam and them they be just throwing shit sometimes out there.
Throw it out there.
It's not even facts.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it. I'm like, bro, that's not even fucking true. But it is what it is.
It is what it is.
So I let it be what it is. But I do think that the media should tell the truth. I think it's their job to be accurate. And if they're real journalists, they should be doing the due diligence to find all the facts so that they have an informed opinion. You know, or whoever they're speaking on behalf of, they're speaking from that lens and with that voice accurately. So they're not tainting the image or, you know, blurring the lines or messing up the message.
Nah, 100%. So, you know, that makes me think about, you know, artists in general. When they write, you know, you have some artists that write shit they've never done or never been in or never been part of. And so how do you feel about that take on things? And when you write, you know, where does your feeling come from for a lot of your lyrics?
I'm gonna be honest. I think that shit's kind of whack. When people will write and talk about shit that they don't do or never did. I honestly think that's whack. Me, I try to write and just create from a genuine perspective and based on shit that I did or shit that I want to do or things that's happening right now. You know, usually when you're recording or you're in the moment, you can't talk about what you're doing right that second because everything is relative to what came before, or what's coming after.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's very important as an artist, because you're almost like you're kind of like a journalist for the world in a way, like a journalist for the community, a journalist for your neighborhood, you know.
I feel that, you know, and I used to feel exactly the same way, and I would present a perspective that made me think different. Is it's okay to craft a message with an audience in mind.
Yes.
And so, like, even if it's something that I didn't do necessarily, and it could be hood shit, it could be, you know, not hood shit, it could be, I don't know, breakup, country music, divorce thing, because look at, like, you know, a Beyonce or something, you know, her stepping in to the country bag and Texas stuff and doing that as well, you know, like, oh, you know, I couldn't see her doing this or anything like that, but why not? You know, and so making that message dedicated to an audience, it's still very viable if you know how to do it. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to, because I think it was Lil Tecca. He was doing a Trash Mag interview, and he was like, bro, I don't even have my license. And he's like, I don't even drive. And he was talking about some like Porsche that he just bought and all of this shit. And he said something else he's like, I am soft. He's like, I am not a gangbanger. I've never shot anybody, but that's one of my best songs. You know what I'm saying? But he made it funny. He kept it real, but that's what the audience wanted. And so, you know, that brings me to the next point. How far do you go for your audience as far as morality?
I'm not gonna break my code for nothing. Like, for what? In my eyes, like, I've done and exceeded so much shit that I even thought my life would, you know, bring me, or God would bring me, or, you know, places I've been. So I don't feel like it's necessary for me to do that. But I do think, you know, going back to the point that you made about creating with an audience in mind, I think that's cool, as long as you're not striking on the negativity. You know what I'm saying? If you're on, you know, positive vibes and you just creating something to have fun, that's cool. But if you on a negativity shit, I'm not really rocking with that personally.
No, that makes sense. And so how do you feel about, you know, like because I'm about to teach a class on June 8th, and it's audience growth tour with Brendan.
Oh, word.
And, you know, in one of my slides, my PowerPoints, I pull up the actual statistics as of last year for Facebook accounts, Instagram accounts, the most two popular social media platforms right now. Facebook has about 3 billion, a little over 3 billion users a month. And about 2.2 billion of these users are fake accounts.
Wow.
And so the dynamic of it has turned into more influencers, artists, business owners, and people or whatnot are faking their likes, their views, their followers, their all of this to seem bigger than it is. And, you know, how do you feel about that with musical representation as well?
That I've come to realize, especially this year, that is more in my face than ever. And if you want to do that, that's cool. But I don't think there's value for me in that, because I would rather grow my audience organically. I would rather have 1,000 followers that all know me, or at least some of, you know, majority of them know me, versus having 100,000 and they a bunch of robots, like, you know what I'm saying, commenting on my shit, liking my shit, but they not actually real. So there is that. There's a lot of smoke and mirrors in the game, you know? And I think when you're coming up, you're seeing a lot of that. Even, you know, being just in the game, like, you see shit like that all the time. So it's not really my cup of tea. You know, I don't fancy that. But
now, even though you don't fancy it, because I've been presented this multiple times as well, and, you know, that's my personality as well. On Instagram right now, you know, I have 2,000 something followers, but my reach is 1.6 mil. You know what I'm saying? Like I have actual engagement. I'm a marketer, so I know how to reach past my audience. But for the people that don't, and for the people that want to do it kind of easier, you know, they've also presented the issue of, I've had somebody, I'm not going to say their name, I've had somebody I know who's a coach pay for followers and likes and views, and it doesn't even cost that much. But what he teaches is actually true stuff. And the correlation of, once people saw him have the bigger number of everything, they started buying his stuff more, because we live in a more shallow society driven thing. And so, is it okay if your message is still needing to be delivered? Would you still tap into that kind of realm? Because you understand, like, it's not really the algorithm, it's the audience. You know, if you have two videos standing next to each other talking about the same topic, one got 100,000 views, one got 1,000 views, which one are you probably going to pick?
If you're like, if you're doing a lot of ads, that makes sense. But if you're paying like an agency and then they're just funneling bots to you, that doesn't really do much for you, besides you having clout, because people look at you like, oh, you're doing all of this and all of these people are fucking with you, but they're not actually fucking with you. Like, you pull up in the city and nobody's coming to fucking see you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you got 150,000 followers, but you come to Dallas to do the show, or anywhere on the planet. Like, you go to Hawaii to do the show and 30 people don't show up. You know, I think there's value in keeping it a bean, you know. But again, like I said, I think advertising and doing a lot of that stuff, there's a lot of value in it. That's how you attract new eyes and new ears. Yeah. So, okay, I think that's cool as well.
So we've entered the part of the podcast where we call this gem drop.
Gem drop.
So gem drop, if they make it this far in the podcast, because people have short attention spans, you know, we want to give them viable information that really takes them to the next level. And so this is going to be catered towards, you know, independent artists. You know, you've been doing it. You're booking the shows. You're hopping on flights. You're doing all of this stuff, and you're doing it by yourself. What are some beginning steps in the first year to 2 years that an independent artist should worry about?
You got to focus on your image. You got to focus on, well, that's developing, right? That's like an evolutionary thing. But you got to focus on who you want to be all the time. Who do you show up as? Who do people know you as? That's number one. And that has to align with who you are. It can't be a show all the fucking time. Because, people, they gonna notice that shit. Like, you gonna fizz out quick. And that's the other thing with the other shit. Like, you gonna fizzle out quick. You trying to go up high fast, you gonna fizzle out. You gotta climb.
Facts.
And that shit's a challenge. You gotta climb. And you gotta exhaust yourself climbing. I think the next thing is seeking as many opportunities to be in front of a live audience as you can.
And how would they do that? How do you get booked for shows?
You got to first look at what's happening in your town, where they got the open mics at. And once you start going to the open mics and tuning in with those folks, that's where you're going to find the musicians. That's where you're going to find the people that are also doing other shows, or hosting other shows, booking other shows, showcases, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? For you then to find other opportunities for you to perform. Once you start doing that, people are rocking with you. You obviously want to develop some social media presence, regardless of whether you're in your hometown or outside of your hometown.
Yeah.
You know, I decided to move outside of my hometown like 3.5 years ago because, you know, a couple of different reasons. But mainly, I wanted to change. I wanted to be in a different market, and I wanted to experience something different. I wanted to grow as a person and as an artist in a different way. And I feel like that has brought me to where I am right now. And I think that's the last point for sure. You got to continue to push yourself, specifically as an artist, to keep developing and try to tap into the, you know, the depths of what you could really do. You know what I'm saying? Creatively.
That made me think about two more, good questions, which is, at what point did you realize you wanted to get a vocal coach?
So I had one when we were young. We had our choir coach, but it was really just like a few months ago. I would say within the past 6 months.
Okay. And what made you be like, I feel like this is going to take me to the next level?
I feel like I needed to develop some more confidence in my range and also develop within the skill set, Because it's cool when you in the studio hanging out, you throw the tune on. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You're doing your little Louisiana shit. You think you Weezy F and shit. You're doing your Tory Lanez, whatever the fuck. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You're thinking you nice because you on the tune. Yeah. But then you get to the venue.
You got to do that live show.
you got to give it to them raw and unplugged. Yeah. And what are you going to do then? So I thought it was important for me to develop because I know I have certain, things in my Rolodex, but you got to tap in it and you got to tap into the mastery, There's a lot of artist development that goes on behind the scenes with people's favorite artists that they don't even know is going on.
Like what?
Know? For example, Usher and Chris Brown and a lot of them guys that sing, or even some of the rappers, Beyonce, they talk about running, jogging, and performing at the same time.
Oh, damn.
Oh, my God. It's hard as fuck.
Cardio.
Oh, my God. It's not just cardio. It's literally like breath control.
Gotcha.
It's breath control. It's trying to control your heart rate. It's a lot all at once. But if you're able to develop that, doing a live show ain't shit. Gotcha. Especially with an artist like Beyonce or Chris Brown, Usher.
They be dancing.
They moving for 2 hours. Yeah. But yeah, that's the main thing. I do that. I run and, work on my vocals. I sing my records. I sing other artists' records. And then just being in the studio, working on different songs, writing a ton of shit.
Got you.
And just being around a lot of other artists.
Got you.
That's a main thing.
And one of the most $1 million questions to me, because I own a production company, how much do you pay for visuals? How much do you invest in the visual department?
How much have I invested, or how much do I invest right now?
How much should somebody invest?
How much should somebody invest in the visual department? Period?
Yeah, on a general sense. Like,
let's say in a month.
We won't even, put it towards a month. We just say in general. Like, you have a shooter that you go to, a videographer, whether you're taking content for a concert, a music video, behind the scenes, like just that department in general. How much is it needed?
You should have some bands ready. I like at least like a couple hundred per event. It also depends on your relationship with the individual. People that align with you and people that have a different type of relationship with you or just want to see you win will do more for you versus someone that you don't know and you just want to book because of their name or you like their aesthetic. Yeah. But if you work with someone that they also on that way, you can help develop that too and also kind of craft it to what you want to do in terms of what you're trying to be visually.
Got you.
So I think you got to have at least a couple hundred ready monthly. I think a good baseline for an artist, you got to have at least like 800 to 1,000 monthly period on your shit. Yeah. Whether it's studio, video, whatever. You got to be spending close to 1,000 on a month on your art, I feel, to be creating something that's worthwhile.
Got you. Okay. No, that's valid. That's a good budget point. And so with these visuals now, there's a lot of stylistic things going on. Do you want to create more, or do you tend, I've never seen any of your videos, but do you go for more cinematic type things? Are you a more effect based? Are you montage based? Like, how do you craft your videos and the idea for your videos?
Before I answer that question, one other point I wanted to make was we have the iPhone and we got the Google phone and we got the Android, we got the Galaxies. You can do a lot of stuff with those, just those devices on your own, without paying for someone to outsource it. So I wanted to mention I wanted to mention that. I kind of left it out. But sorry, can you repeat the last question?
Yeah, cut that last part out, Sims. But shit, I forgot what I even asked. Basically, I think I said yeah, that one threw me off.
Yo, you threw me off with the reaction. I was like, oh, I told him to spend mad money, then I told him do it yourself for free.
Right? I was like, huh? Oh Lord.
I think you gotta have a healthy balance.
Yeah, no,
because you can't do all one.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. But everybody got their own budget. You know, somebody might be working. They a bartender. They don't got money like that. You know what I'm saying? So they gotta find how they can find their lane and how they can create and how they can connect with an audience without coughing up so much bread. So I was just trying to say that with those type folks in mind.
I get it. And so that also brings me to another point though. At what point do you separate? Because I know a lot of early artists, early on try to be the person that has their hands in every aspect. The producers, the engineers for their own shit. They know how to mix and master their own stuff. And they just like, doing the promotions, all of that stuff. At what point do you really have to focus more on being an artist and delegate the rest?
Delegation is important. I don't like to be involved in everything. I like to be involved towards the end of everything. Like, say I'm in the studio with my engineer or my producer. He actually live out here. So a lot of stuff I record in Dallas, but I'll send to him if I'm not recording with him.
Gotcha.
So if I send something to him, he'll work on it. And then when he feels like it's ready for me to listen to or ready to, get close to the end, then we'll sit together and we'll listen and he'll do this thing. And then I'll, give my feedback and then we'll craft a finished product. Because obviously you want to have some control over the sound, and the product. And then visually as well, I would like my boy Rob, shout out my man Rob, the video guy, man. He'll do at least a draft and then he'll shout me and we'll come up and put the rest together. Gotcha. Sometimes if we're doing something short, we'll take what we just did, boom, and knock it out quick. But usually I don't like to be on everything. I like to let people, work how they work. And then I come in and give them a little bit of my 2 cents and then make sure it aligns with what I believe in, what I like, and what they feel comfortable with as well.
So I've never been on, tour. They've gone, but I have businesses over here. So how real is like groupiness?
Groupiness?
Yeah, groupiness.
It happens. I mean, man's a gallus, so it don't really matter where we at though. It don't matter if we had a show or whatever. Me, I love women. I really enjoy being around women, beautiful women, even if it's just for the company. You know what I mean? It don't have to be. I'm not the type of person where I'm always looking for something from somebody. You know what I mean? Like, I like to be around people just to experience them for who they are.
Facts.
So yeah, sometimes, you doing your thing, a groupie will shout you or come, jump on you and shit like that. But I mean, right now where I'm at, it ain't that crazy. It happens, but it ain't that crazy.
Got you. And then the next part of that is, you typically, I don't know if this is true for you, you'll tell me, I know some people that have like homies that they came up with that become like their entourage almost, spending money on your entourage has made a lot of big music people broke
as fuck.
And so how do you navigate that realm?
I don't do that. And I mean, my bro will tell you most of the time when I'm going and doing stuff, I'm dolo. And that's part of the reason too. It's not because I'm cheap or I'm not giving and, things of that nature. Because whenever I'm around, my people, they be the first ones to tell you, I give like I got it all, But you don't want to be coming out of pocket paying for everybody's shit, because you're going to be trying to upkeep a lifestyle or upkeep an image that's not going to really lend itself to you being successful in the long run financially. You might be cool and they might rock with you to the day you die, but you're not going to necessarily be in the position you would like to be in, and therefore not be able to help them really as much as you could.
Facts.
Because of how much you're letting go.
Facts.
If you're able to empower people in your circle, now that's something serious. You know, if you're able to find, all right, you're going to do this, you're going to do security. You're going to do this, we're going to do the beats. You do this, we're going to do the visuals. You do this, you just going to be, you know what I mean? You're just going to be there. You're going to give me an ear. You're going to make sure these people stay around away from me. You know what I mean? You're going to be my energy detector. You know what I mean? Like shit like that is valuable.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's definitely dope. And so what kind of financial literacy game plan do you have to avoid, you know, even some of the greats? We went to I think Circle of CEOs event 2 years ago, 2022, and Timbaland was on stage, and Timbaland literally, I want to say a year before 2022, he said, yo, I went almost MC Hammer broke. And this is Timbaland. He said, like back to my mom's house, sleeping on the couch. Like, how the fuck did I end up here? Yeah. You know, and so if it's happening to greats like that who got cataloged for days, you know, how do you plan to, you know, move yourself forward consciously?
I think you got to protect the nest egg. You know what I mean? You got to have a chunk. You just keep feeding. You keep feeding to that chunk and put that away. You don't touch it. You don't see it. Unless you want to make a big move that's going to advance you forward still with, you know, some type of exponential growth, then, you know, don't bother. But that's my thinking. You know, I'm looking at music as a way for me then to invest and move forward with some of the other things that I like to do. Like I said, with the real estate and some of the philanthropy work. You know, I would like to get involved with more charitable work and charitable organizations, even just in my city, to help kids in our community, whether it's with sports or even if it's with music or whatever. You know what I mean? But, you know, I'm into all of that stuff.
Got you. Okay. No, that's definitely dope. And so, you know, within a year, what is a plan that you have set to how many songs are going to drop, how many shows you want to do, you know, all of that stuff?
So right now, one of my main goals is going to 1,000 monthly listeners on Spotify, because I haven't reached that yet. And once I go from 1, I'm going to 5 and then to 10. So that's my goal for right now for this year. After that, with regard to the shows, this whole first quarter, I've done like probably 6 cities and a bunch of shows, you know, multiple within each. You know, we did Austin, Houston, Dallas, New York, Philly, Boston. I was supposed to perform last night down in Wynwood, but my flight got delayed and I couldn't make it in time, so I missed my opportunity to go get it at the Savage Labs.
Got you.
But I'm just looking to keep it pushing all year. You know, I want to at least do another 20 to 50 shows this year.
And how do you end up doing something like a Rolling Loud, South by Southwest, those type?
From what I understand, those festivals, you have to have a reach with regard to your audience.
Got you.
A lot of those folks that are putting on those big festivals, they want to know that you're going to sell a certain amount of tickets. So if you can't sell a certain amount of tickets and make a certain amount of bread for them, they're not booking you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's what I love to do, because I feel like my music would really fit into that realm well. And the other thing is TVs and movie licensing. So that's what I want to do throughout this year. I want to get into the syncing, the licensing. I want to keep reaching out and performing, you know, all over the country and the world. I'm going to Europe for a few weeks at the end of the summer.
Okay.
So I'm excited about that.
And so you're doing international performances too?
Yeah.
Okay. So, you know, that's a bag most, you know, artists, especially when they're early stages, don't talk about, because there's a whole community outside of just the United States, and they will actually fuck with your music more, if anything, than the people that are here.
A lot of times I found like the people that don't know you fuck with you more than the people that know you. Like know you well, you know? Like it's just a thing. I don't know what it is, but it's something about it where like maybe it's the new hotness, as Mace like to say. The new
Maybe.
hotness.
But nah, that's dope. And so, what's the plan for the rest of this year?
This year. So right now we in May, we wrapping it up.
Mm-hmm.
June I'm gonna be in Dallas. I'm working on just pushing the records I got. I'm doing a live. I'm dropping a pack for my past release, Is This Love?
Okay.
I'm gonna drop the acoustic version of the record. I'm gonna drop the instrumental version. I'm gonna drop the instrumental, acapella. I'm doing a live version. I said acoustic, but I'm doing a live version with a band. So I'm gonna do like recording it visually as well as the audio, and then I'm gonna drop that, and then I'm gonna drop a couple of my records that I've already put out, and like halftime, almost like a chopped and screwed vibe.
Got you.
And then July I'm going to Europe. Coming back in August. September my birthday. I'm actually looking to get a spot out here.
Okay, hey, this is the place to do it. Brendan just got his spot out here.
I heard.
Yeah.
So those are some of my goals for the year with before October, before September time.
Got you. Okay. And with all of those goals in mind, the last question I have is, how do you face burnout?
Burnout.
Yeah.
Rest. You gotta rest. I think resting and literally doing nothing, there's a lot of value in that. But because of the society we live in, it's like you gotta always be doing something all the time. But you have to have some type of reset and something that grounds you, something that resets you and allows you to feel inspired again. Because you don't really feel inspired all the time or motivated. You have to be disciplined.
Facts.
I like to go, I work out all the time. I like to go lift weights, run. I like to play golf now. I talk on the phone a lot to people I care about and stuff like that. So I think those things help keep me grounded.
Okay.
And allow me to just keep going steady without feeling like this is too much. I can't do this. Like super overwhelmed. You know what I mean?
Nah, I got you.
Because everybody gets it.
Nah,
it's about how you deal with it.
100%. And so you have merch?
I don't got merch right now. Yeah. I have merch. I have t-shirts from my first EP release that is in a dungeon somewhere in Massachusetts.
Got you.
There's a few shirts I didn't sell. I sold a bunch of them, but there's a few I didn't sell. I have a couple of ideas for shirts. I'm not going to say them right now.
Fair.
But things that I do want to create merch-wise.
Okay. No, that's fair. I mean, hey, all my audience knows usually if they make it to the end of this, whatever you selling, I usually just buy a bunch of it and give it to the audience. Okay. You know what I'm saying? But he don't got the merch. Got shit. I can't, you know what I'm saying? Maybe if you got a show out here, I get a ticket to go to the show or something. Yeah. But no, my Zing, this was amazing. Got to learn a little bit more about you, the mindset that you have for building your brand and really putting on a show and going out there and being authentic to yourself and your audiences is commendable for sure. Is there anything else that you want to add or tell the audience, when's your next show?
Thank you, Rich. I really appreciate all of those words. My next show right now is currently not booked.
Okay.
I don't have anything right now. The main thing I'm doing is that live version. I'm turning it into a little event back in Dallas. So
okay.
If you see this interview before that, come through. It's kind of like an invite only. It's more of a small thing. But that's really what's on the horizon.
Okay. I mean, if it's invite only, I don't know how they're going to come through. But I
Text
guess you
me.
got to hit them up.
Text me. I respond to the DMs. I'm not one of them guys.
Okay. So, yeah, this was great. If y'all like this episode, even if you don't, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Let somebody hear this message. Tune in to Gem Drop. He teaches a lot of different ways to what you should start on, what you should really focus on as a beginning independent artist, and how to really spread yourself out without spreading yourself too thin. And, get that rest, get that mindset in there. Man, this was amazing. It's your host, Mastermind Rich, at the end of the day. And as we always say, we look good, we live good. Life is good. Talk to us. We talk back, and we out of here.